right. So we bring it into the second hour and a half of D&D. You guys good? As we bring it into the second hour and a half of TableStory Ascendance. Just to clarify, branding.
Branding!
Throw back to the map. You guys have
This
now...
episode of TableStory brought to you by Coca-Cola.
No! They have to pay for that!
They have to pay that.
They're paying for it. Jesse's just the only one seeing the dividends. He's getting that free Coca-Cola, baby.
Well, my lawyer will be in touch.
Right. A Canadian lawyer.
Yeah, right? They'd be like, oh, hey there, eh? Wish you wouldn't do that, eh?
Yeah, oh, man, that's really not a nice thing you're doing there, eh?
It's just not kind, though, huh? All right. As you, Fora and Randall, you guys make it to the bottom of the mountain. You're
not a bird in sight.
Well, two birds in sight, but they're pretty well off.
About an hour.
I mean, they're half an hour away. They're not that far away.
They're basically right there.
Just hold up a giant chunk of meat.
Yeah, right. And they'll come
Maybe the
running.
vultures will come find you.
There you go.
Are you actively looking for any other animals, really quick?
I'm looking for birds primarily, but like I'm not like looking for a caterpillar. But if there was, say, like an Arctic fox or something that's used to traversing this type of terrain very quickly, a bird absolutely would be my primary choice.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Scoping out to see if she can see the obelisk at any point.
Yeah, you get the feeling because you guys did see kind of the tip of it from like the top of the mountain. You guys were looking down at it. You know that it was on like the eastern side of the mountain. You guys are on the southern, so you'd have to walk kind of this way. Oh god, that's a big ruler. It's only 5 feet, guys. It's only 5 feet. We'll be there in a jiffy. As we go to Gotho.
We take the smallest steps. They're just so small.
As we go to Gotho, it's been a little bit now of you just kind of like walking. Maybe dragging your feet, maybe not. As you once again pass a somewhat familiar path, right? The hallowed city of Lanthevert on your right. Say probably a ways away. We'll go with a ways away.
Ways.
Suddenly, just from what was that? Okay. Anyways, as you're walking and just the same surroundings around you, the mountain is still curving out, starting to like maybe about 200 feet ahead, curve left as if there's a path there. From behind you, you catch like a quick whistle, and a man, you hear like footsteps jump down behind you. Says, "Oi!" Turn around and see...
Gotho turns around and just looks at him.
You see two halflings, one of them sitting on a rock kind of further up on the mountain. The other one jumped down, points, what? Name's Rog. This here is Reeve. Reeve doesn't talk, and as he said, Reeve... What are you doing out here? All alone?
Obelisk.
Oh, right. The big green thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you headed there? You want to fight the blue nasty? Hey.
Blue nasty.
As he said that, Reeves... Yeah, see, Reeve here. Doesn't like him.
What is a nasty?
It's a dragon, mate.
I wish Randall was there.
You fight a blue nasty?
Where is nasty?
I just by the obelisk.
It
sleeps
lives
there. Yeah, wrapped around it, real weird like.
Why?
Fuck if I know. It's big, it's blue, we avoid it.
Why are you here?
Well, we have business.
Insight check.
Okay, go ahead.
Rip.
He's got business, man.
Yeah, he clearly has business.
It's important business. He looks like the most trusting man in the world.
Okay.
Trusting or trustworthy?
So he says we have business here. Gotho's just like, oh, okay. What business?
you know, it's business. That's right. We'd rather not disclose.
Can you describe like what they're wearing and if they have like visible weapons on them?
Yeah,
and
you
stuff?
can see like this one. He's got like it'd be like the halfling's equivalent of a bastard sword. It's just to you a long sword. And the one up top, he's got a crossbow. It's kind of like lazily trained across his lap.
So it looks like they could be highwaymen of some sort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just right. Come here. Come have a fire. Right? Right, Reeve? There, see? Reeve likes you. Come here.
Why does Reeve not talk?
Fuck if I know, mate. He came here one day. Yeah.
How far are we currently from? Like, can I see the obelisk in the distance?
No. I'd say, like, I'd wager, like, you're on map-wise, you're, like, right here.
Hold on. I have the wrong thing up.
Map-wise. I sent you guys to the map. You should have it. Hold on. Make sure.
Yeah. I see it now.
Right there.
Where's the obelisk? Is it the dot?
You guys would have seen it somewhere, like, over, down in this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come have a fire and, rest, drink, be merry.
Gotho just rested. Gotho must go to the obelisk.
Right. On your merry way. We'll, keep an eye out.
How long has Nasty been there?
Right then. What is, there's a bigger Nasty up top in the mountains, and she gave birth to a bunch of the little fuckers. And this one, fuck if we know, maybe 2 years?
So, it is child.
Yeah, it's, what do they call it, Reeve? Reeve. Fledgling! That's a fledgling.
Gotho must go to obelisk.
Well,
Does Nasty attack everyone?
it's a fucking dragon, mate! It attacks everybody!
Gotho has not seen a dragon. How big is it?
It's a fucking dragon, mate. They're big. You know?
How big is big?
Like, big.
People call Gotho big.
Well, yeah, you're right, fucking big to me, but they're big. Don't have the words.
So, like 5 pigs.
Yeah, five pigs.
It's moments like these. I wish I was playing a more sarcastic character who could roll with that. Does it sleep?
Reckon.
During day or during night?
It's a fucking dragon, mate. It does what it wants. Right. We'll wait. You come back.
How many of you are there?
2, just me, Rog and Reeve. Right, Reeve?
Gotho's trying to figure out how to do this without immediately getting killed. If Gotho does not come back,
Right.
tell the 2 that come after me. Gotho had to know. And like he's moving towards the direction of the obelisk still.
Right. Bye. He just kind of sits down at the kid. Like, what the fuck? Kind of lets you just walk away. Bora. Randall. You guys are standing at the south of the mountain. You guys walking east. You know that is east, 100%.
Okay.
We're kind of on a flat part at this point,
Yeah,
right?
this is flat.
We're no longer like dangerous territory, moving down through the mountain. We're on a steady road, basically. We know about where we're going.
Yep.
Could we kick it up to like double time? I mean, instead of just like a slow, traveler.
I'd say you could bust into like a heavy run, but you'd probably have, I'd say you'd have an exhaustion point.
Okay, what would an exhaustion point do? Like, I mean, just meta for a second. Like, how is that going to affect our
exhaustion
stat?
level 1? I believe is disadvantage on ability checks and saves. I'll reaffirm really quickly. Exhaustion 5e. I'm almost positive that's what it is because I've looked it up like 7 times in the last few weeks.
Okay.
So.
How worried are we about Gotho, do you think?
Oh, it's just ability checks. You have disadvantage on the ability checks.
Just ability checks? All right. I feel like Randall would want to break into a run, knowing that Gotho had a 6-hour head start on us, and knowing what we went through at the last place where we, at the last temple.
Yeah.
I'm expecting the same type of a thing. Miss Fora, I know that you did have a bit to drink last night, and you're probably very tired. But I believe that we should move with the utmost haste in order that we might help our friend Gotho. And as he says this, he begins to pick up his pace a little bit.
Yeah.
Seeing if
Fora just starts walking quicker as Randall sort of.
It's like a half jog to her quick walk. Yeah, exactly.
Picking up her stride.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, come on! I know that you can do that. Knees up, and he really starts, hustling down the road.
All right. I mean, I think she'll probably outrun him, but she's basically keeping pace with Randall.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a couple moments, you break into full stride, not realizing, just continuing your momentum, and then hearing Randall shout at you from behind, you have to slow down and then keep up. I'd say that it takes you guys about 2 hours. Where
you're
running through, you see kind of on your right, there's just over a sand dune. You can't see the floor of the desert bed, but you can see what looks like crumbled and burnt ruins. Both of you just roll me a quick perception check as you are running by.
That's performance, my bad.
His run looks shitty, by the way.
Yeah, my run was, I just fell on my...
And you roll me persuasion, not perception. Mittens.
Oh my god.
He's persuading the mountain to get out.
He's persuading himself to perform better.
To let me keep playing. That's all I want to persuade. He's a perception.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, the roll isn't shitty.
Randall, you just see blackened and charred buildings, kind of they're jagged, as if they've crumbled, and just chunks of them blown off. As you look to your left, there's parts of the city, kind of in the mountain. Fora, as you run by, you see the same thing, and you can kind of make out that there are pieces of the city that is wow, that's a fucking far away. Oh my god. But you can see that it kind of, I'd say ascertain that it was caused by some form of explosion, and the explosion came from inwards. All of the buildings are kind of carved out in either a jagged or smooth semicircle that's all pointing outwards from the city, as if something came in and blew it off and out. You guys reach kind of the middle point of the city as you're running alongside it, passing by a couple rocks. One looks like a sitting rest. They look recently disturbed, but there's not too much about it. And about 100, 200-ish feet in front of you, the mountain starts to curve. Gotho, you've been here for a small moment. As you turn the bend, you can see the obelisk high in the sky, reaching down to the very, very bottom. Almost a familiar scene from your dream. In your dream, there was nothing around, but in here, you see the rocky crags behind it. Off to your left, there's a couple small inlets in the mountain. The ground looks different, but as you walk closer, the sand starts to change. It starts to be this comfortable feeling as your feet start to sink in, sand running through your toes. It's warmer than it has been, and the sun's quite out by now. It rests about 100 feet from you. What do you want to do?
The obelisk rests, or the dragon?
The obelisk.
Okay. Is this dragon they've warned me about, is it wrapped around or sleeping on the obelisk anywhere, or visible anywhere?
You can't see anything wrapped around it at all. There's no tail poking out over the side. Nothing in sight. Just a massive pale jade green obelisk in front of you.
And how wide and tall is it roughly? Like, is it large enough that there could be something hiding on the other side of it? Or
for Gotho, it's like 10 U's. Okay,
so it's broad enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotho's walking then in a wide circle. He's not approaching it now. Okay. He's kind of getting the lay of the land, and he's walking in a very wide circle around the obelisk. Just kind of like looking it up and down from every side to see, are there marks on it? Because he wants to approach, but obviously he's checking for signs of a dragon, and then also scanning the like rocky. You said there's rocky outcroppings behind it, so he's just looking to see if this thing is nearby.
Okay. As you like kind of come around the left, how close do you think you are? Like 15 feet-ish?
Oh no,
100?
No, yeah, like more, when I came within view of it.
Yeah.
So like he stopped a good 150.
Okay, so you give it a rather like wide berth. And as you walk slowly around, you can see like the back of the mountains now. And off to your left, like the hints of what would be a small marsh. As you like kind of pass over to the true left of it, you can see like the small notions of a castle just past a mountain. You come around to the north end of it. Just off to, I'd say like northeast, we'll say right here on the map. If you guys can see that marking.
Mm-hmm.
You can see like backed up against the mountain, there are, from I'd say your view, large boulders that have seemed to like have fallen. And roll me a quick perception check. Okay. You can see the boulders.
So many crit fails.
They cast like enough shadows for there to be potentially something in there. It just looks like a large kind of open area with a couple of boulders in between that have fallen from the mountain. It's about like it's still about 100 feet away from you, so it's hard to tell.
And how is it oriented to me compared to the obelisk? Is this like a triangle pattern, or is it on the opposite side from me?
The obelisk, right? You are here, and it is over to your right.
Okay, so it's off to the side.
Yeah.
All right. These rocky outcroppings, are there any narrow gaps or openings or like anything like small enough that a human could fit through, but nothing larger could?
Yeah, like around all of them, as you search around, like all of these small portions where the mountain like touches, there are other rocks that are also coming up and covering it, right? So there'd be like a rock kind of going up on top of the mountain as well. Parts of the mountain have been almost like carved away for like small passages here and there. You can see like a couple passages leading into the mountains near that you're looking at currently. If you were to sit there and count, it would just be numerous, probably more than Gotho could count.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm moving closer to the walls, like these rocky outcroppings. Gotho's looking to see if there's any that make an egg, because from the description that I'm getting, am I in kind of like a basin area?
Yeah, it'd be like a massive basin between these two, like a valley between these two mountains. Yes.
Okay, so he's looking to map out in advance an exit from this basin in case he needs to run.
Okay.
So is there an exit from the basin, preferably like basically he's looking for a crack that he could run through that a dragon cannot follow.
Okay. So yeah, you would as you kind of get like a little bit closer, but not too close as to be endangered. You can see off to your left now is like the mountain, the smaller one is kind of looming over you. At the north of the obelisk. You can note a couple of small areas where you could kind of get up inside and then slide down that maybe the dragon wouldn't be able to come into. And after like a little bit of inspection, you can note that there's small pieces of like campfires and such that maybe other people have done the same as well.
That satisfies his inspection. He just starts walking towards the obelisk.
Okay. What do you do?
Is Gotho getting any sort of odd sense or perception from the obelisk as he approaches it?
Yeah, like the entire time that you've been walking around, you feel almost as if like you're being pulled, like as if the sand is shifting underneath your feet and slowly pulling you towards it. You aren't, but it feels almost as if like gravity is not working down, but is in a pushing force towards the obelisk.
He just like lets it carry him towards the obelisk then.
Yeah, your legs seem to move almost like of their own accord. Your left arm, green one, yeah. It almost seems like to come out in front of you as you're walking. Not like a full-fledged, but like just a slow. It's more farther ahead than your right arm. You stand 15 feet from it, 10 feet from it, looking up. It's unscalable. It's smooth, green, the same exact color as your hand. No chips, no weathered effects. Almost buffered and polished by the wind and the sand that might often come through here. 5 feet from it. What do you do?
Gotho, he holds up his hand in front of him for a second, and he just kind of takes one last look at it in case this thing lights him on fire. And then he just puts his hand on the obelisk.
Okay. Which one? Left hand?
Yeah, his discolored hand.
The same as in the dream. As you push your hand onto it, it feels almost as if it's melding into your skin. It burns for a small moment, but you can't tell if that's just because it's the heat of the sun heating it up, or if it's actually burning you. Out of sheer instinct, your right hand almost starts to like come up. Roll me a strength save, if you want to stop your hand from.
Gotho's remembering in his dream that when his natural hand touched the tower, it got burnt or something like that. I can't remember. There was
tattoos that swirled. It was like a black ink, almost not a tattoo, but black ink swirled down your arm was what happened.
Yeah, I should have wrote it down. All I remember was other hand bad. Touched you with the green hand, so he definitely doesn't want to touch it.
Okay. You can feel it pulling it. Your left hand almost comes off for a moment as you like just kind of launch your body backwards, and your arm. It's still like a struggle to keep it, but it just feels like something inside is calling to you. It's almost like a voice is in your head just saying, "Come to me, Gotho." Your left hand, the burning becomes stronger. It doesn't hurt you, but you can just feel this warm, stabbing pain, as if something on the other side of the obelisk is poking and prodding. You can feel it. It's like a dull hammering now, pounding. Let's switch over to Fora and Randall. As you guys are coming around the side of the mountain, you're kind of at where the basin, good word for it, begins. You can see off to the right of you, there's further desert, more mountains. Behind you, there are small crags and outcroppings of mountain. But as you come around, you can now see over the mountain as well the looming obelisk. What are you guys doing?
Almost there now. No point in slowing up.
Yes, but no. What if we don't even know if he went in here? Can she roll a perception?
Yeah, it would be survival check to look for footprints and such.
As she says that, Randall pulls up and is like, "Oh shit, I hadn't even thought of that."
Also, your mic is super low, Elspeth.
Is it super low? Really?
Yeah, it is. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Should I turn it up?
Just a smidgen. Are you rolling a survival check as well, Randall?
I'm gonna roll a perception check to
Also,
see.
right.
To try to look around. I'm not looking for tracks. She's looking for tracks. I'm gonna look around and see if there's anybody watching. If there's like, I don't know, a bird, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't see anything. I don't know which way he could have. Maybe he went in.
Okay. Yeah, you can't see the footprints as you're looking and straining your eyes for them. Like a quick gust of sand like blows, small sand tornado just kind of skits by out of the basin. You kind of think, okay, that's why I can't see anything. As you're looking around, Randall, you see behind you, from the side of the mountain that you had just come. As you look up, you can't quite tell, and then like as you start to strain your eyes further, something. It's about 50 to 60 feet away. It was hard to tell as if it blended in with the mountain, but a mountain doesn't just move.
Yeah.
As if something was watching you.
Okay, is it something about how big was it? Can I recall in my memory?
From that far away, it could have been like
I mean, was it human sized? Was it like all of a sudden part of the mountain seemed to shift? Could it, like I'm wondering.
It was like person size.
Okay, so it's probably we're being watched is probably my first. Randall almost nonchalantly just unslings his shield and just and puts it on his arm and rests his hand on his battle axe that's strapped to his belt.
Okay.
He says, I believe, my dear, I kind of say in like a stage whisper as though we're just carrying on the conversation. I believe, my dear, that we are being watched from somewhere off that way. And I kind of motion with my elbow kind of towards the general direction of where it came from. About 50 feet away up in the rocks movement. So there's no way that my voice is really going to be carrying very far, but it looks like we're just sitting there kind of talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out exactly, but I'm not looking at, where it was. I continue to scan around, though, to see if there's anything else.
Okay.
Okay. Did you see anything, or?
I believe that we're being watched. It's, not sure if it's human, but I don't think it's much bigger than that. And I'm pretty sure it was not a rabbit. Be on your guard.
All right.
At that point, I continue to kind of move around in the way that we were going, but no longer at a double pace. Now we're a little bit more cautious.
You guys both have one. Okay, you guys both have 1 point of exhaustion, so you have disadvantage on ability checks. And that's just from the extreme exercise of practically sprinting
for the past 2 hours.
Yeah, for pretty much like 2 to 3 hours now.
How do we get rid of that? Is it only with the long rest?
Long rest. Is
okay,
how you get rid of it.
Well, it's a natural sprinters.
But we can't like heal out of that or anything.
No, it's a natural long rest. As you two now like kind of turning around and starting into this valley between the two mountains, you can clearly see now the obelisk in front of you. Nothing kind of silhouetting against the obelisk. You guys walk closer and closer.
So we're now in the opening. We can see all the sand around the obelisk. We can see. At that point, I'd like to look for tracks this time, like really specifically in the open sand.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
Can I do that again? Can I?
Yeah, you can do it again.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It seems like something had come through here recently, but you get it for a moment and then it's gone. But it seems to be leading around the left side of the obelisk.
Okay. On observing the sand, do we see any type of movement or anything like that? Does the sand seem to be shifted? Does it seem like normal sand, or are we seeing little tornados going by still?
It's just like small little dust devils just floating by.
Okay, little dust devils. Okay.
They're giving you the middle finger on the way by, saying just saying white footprints.
Fuck your shitty rolls. Fuck you.
Oh man, that's the worst.
As
exhaustion's
Gotho,
a bitch.
the pounding against your hand now, Gotho, again into a hammering. Now you can feel it. It's almost like pushing you off with every hit.
You said I could hear a voice or something like it talking.
It's like something just innately is telling you, "Come to me, Gotho."
Gotho's not trying to answer it physically, but he's trying to focus his thoughts to try and respond to it.
Okay.
I don't know if he's able to make any progress on that, but he's trying to focus and answer mentally and see if the thing can hear him when he responds, and he's just saying where.
Okay. After that, as soon as you start to think that the hammering just dies down a small moment, it's still happening. And almost just everywhere around you, it's a little more clear now that you're paying attention. Here, Gotho, in me. Come home. Again, it starts to pick up.
And I don't know, Gotho at this point is just thinking home mentally with a question mark.
Here, come home. Home.
Who are you? Is the next thought he's focusing on.
No answer.
Gotho attempts to disengage his hand from the tower.
Okay. Roll me 2 strength checks. 1 to pull your hand off.
Okay.
That's just 1 strength check. Or strength. Right. Okay, we'll go with strength check. As you pulling, you rip it off. The hammering immediately stops. Your mind seems busy again, no longer clear. What do you want to do?
He's looking at the tower now, and he's just contemplating like the concept of home, because he doesn't really have one. But he's also now kind of concerned that it might be somehow tied to the wizard that made him in the first place, and he's not so sure he wants to go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just kind of staring at the tower, and I guess Gotho's going to be lost in thought for a minute while he just kind of stands there.
Okay.
Can I hear the other two approaching, or the dragon approaching? Or like, I guess now that he's taking a second to like stop conversing with the tower, he's just looking around him to see if anything's changed.
Yeah, give me a perception check. Okay.
Do I hear ha boom in the distance?
About 60, maybe 70 feet away, you can see a figure appear. It's one that you immediately recognize as Fora, quickly followed by Randall. You two, you're coming around. You don't see anything so far. As you come around the obelisk.
Can Randall take this moment approaching the obelisk? I take it we're like on the outskirts, right? Like, I mean, there's a giant opening with the obelisk in the center with like very clean sand, pretty much, and we're right on the outskirts of that. Correct?
Yeah.
Can I use divine sense at this point?
Okay.
Okay. You know, basically, I want to sense if there's anything nefarious, anything good, anything. You know, it's going to sense any type of. Demons, any type of celestial beings, and exactly where they are.
What is that, 60 feet?
60 feet radius.
Okay. As you, again, just kind of clear your mind, honing your thoughts, there's a small ebb from the obelisk. It's faint.
From the obelisk or
from the obelisk? This time almost as if like a heartbeat. It's not like a, just a pulsing, it is a beating. Just boom, 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 boom.
Is this, so it's not a pulse, it's truly, the one before was a pulse, where this is like an actual boom, boom,
yeah.
Boom, boom.
I mean, like you had thought before was like a heartbeat. This is like a heartbeat.
This is a heartbeat. Okay, can I sense if it's evil or good?
There's no way to tell.
Benign? All right.
No way to tell.
At this point, Randall drops to his knees and puts his shield down in front of him. He drops to his knees and sticks his shield almost so it's upright in the sand in front of him, and slings his battle axe off of his belt, and he immediately pulls the we're going to call it the troll pouch for lack of a better term. The troll pouch out of his off his shoulder, in which a troll scrotum and a troll cock are still rotting away. It's only been a few days though, so it's not too bad. And at this moment, he begins to mutter prayers, first under his breath, and then getting louder and louder as he reaches. And Jesse, this is my moment. All right, seriously,
I'm sorry.
You're gonna cough right now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I am about to smear troll semen all over my hair.
You
begin
trying to tell me
and you have to cough right now.
That the troll dick is your holy symbol?
No.
Okay, thank fucking God.
I am making a troll, my holy symbol out of my shield. Okay. And I'm doing this by first praying to Yandala, to myself, quietly. And then by the time the prayer gets louder and louder, Yandala is the halfling goddess of life and fertility and protection, and her symbol is a shield. So I reach into this bag and basically produce the scrotum of the troll. And at this point, I begin using it to smear this we'll just call it excrement, why not, over my shield. And at that time, I begin taking it and taking handfuls of it. Because this is a big old scrotum now. And I use it to slick back my hair at this point.
What the fuck?
And begin to slick back my hair and gather all my hair behind me as this, thank you, Jesse, as my prayer builds into more of a chant and finally ending with myself holding the shield at the top of it with my head bowed. And finally, I stand up, reeking of troll semen, as you can only imagine. And there is now a cross across made out of semen, across my shield. And my hair is slicked back completely. Every loose hair has been pinned back. Like it's well gelled, you could say. And it is back, and I am ready for battle. And I finish it by saying, in Yondala's name, may protection guard over us. In this day, our battle. This makes no sense to many people, if anyone was watching. This is much more personal than that.
That was unique.
Are we back to Gotho's moment?
We're back to Gotho's moment.
Gotho, go for it, man. You can clear your throat all you want.
As you're standing there, you can see him doing this, and you see Fora kind of searching the rocks. But she hasn't taken note of you.
Okay. Gotho, he claps his hands really loud.
Okay.
Just
Before I hear this.
no reaction from her.
Loud enough that he's doing it loud enough, thinking that they probably hear it.
Yeah,
Are they too
there's
far away to
no
hear it?
reaction from her. You see this disgusting and ghastly ritual as Randall is crouching down and taking just blood and like now liquefied pieces of flesh and just fucking smearing them all over himself and his shield. And Forrest just kind of like looking away in disgust, but then also like peeking back in interest. But she doesn't seem to take note of you.
Is there like pebbles or rocks or anything on the ground?
No, it is all sand.
Okay. How far away are they?
I'd say they're about like
within 60 feet.
30-ish feet.
Oh, and they can't hear me clapping my hands at that distance?
No.
Huh. Gotho just looks up and says... he looks up and says, Randall. Oh, Randall's closer, right? Because Fora was hanging back.
Yeah.
He says, Randall.
Does Randall hear him?
No. As you look up, as you're kind of... I don't know if you know, like, when you walk into, like, a dark room or like, a dimly lit tunnel and, like, something buffets your senses. Yeah. As if you fully, your senses are heightened. It just hits you like a wave and you suddenly, like, are fully aware. Like, your mind was busy and you were looking at Fora and she's no longer looking at you. There's a strange filter across everything of a pale green jade color. As now you're looking out at Randall, and have been the whole time. As you look around and you're swimming. There's no texture to the liquid you are in. There is no taste. You can breathe. You can swallow. You can speak. The word Randall comes out. I don't know if Gotho would fully realize that he is now in the obelisk.
Yeah, if he's been like absorbed inside it, I think he's aware because he knew something was going to happen. He just didn't know what.
And again, Gotho, come home. And the pounding now in your head and your arm.
So when Gotho like pulled his hand off, I assume just found himself disconnecting on the inside?
You were standing there. As you pulled it off, it was at some point while you were staring at Fora and watching this ritual that it was almost like you blinked and there's this green filter over everything as you fully realized.
I see.
Okay, so Gotho turns around now. He turns around again to face the obelisk now that he's inside it, and he's looking to see what can he see now that he's on the interior.
The second you turn, there is just a shadow. It's the small, or the outline of what would be a small woman to you. It is, everything's small to you. You can see little wisps of shadowy hair kind of dancing across, standing out the contrast incredible. The black compared to the pale green behind it.
Mm-hmm. And he just sees the little shadow wisping around inside.
Yeah.
Gotho he just calmly walks towards the shadow, and then I don't know if he's able to walk through it or into it, but he's like kind of attempting to walk like into its space, and then just sits down.
The second you walk, one step, following, and it doesn't move, it doesn't react. You pass into it, but the second you hit it, it's like you've been crushed by the obelisk itself, as if it were to fall on your chest. Are you wearing a shirt?
Gotho has Jody Monet's cloak draped around him like a scarf, but that's it.
As you look down, you can see parts of the scarf like kind of going across your right breast. You see like the small, oily black ink that you had seen in your dream. It snakes out from your chest, down your left arm, to right where the severed portion of the green starts. Like tendrils, as if it's reaching out and trying to grasp it. You watch them as they intertwine and touch, and then immediately flinch back as if they were stung. And you can see it. Do you pull the cloak, or to watch it, or?
Yeah, I guess if it's like moving up under the cloak already, then he'll move out of the way so we can see what's happening.
As you kind of pull it up, it goes down this arm as well, and then seems to circle back, going across your back. You can almost feel it now, like a snake crawling on your skin. Going instead under your arm and twining around, going across your fist. It doesn't turn your hand entirely black, but instead it solidifies immediately on where you would assume the bones of your hands are. And touches to your knuckles. And in that, from your wrist to your two knuckles, an obelisk forms in the shadowy black ink. You can see it start to solidify on your chest, almost as if like a sun and then a moon below it, two polar opposites.
Gotho just kind of looks back towards the shadowy form and says, "Lathander?"
As you turn around, it's gone. But again, you hear, "No. Home, Gotho. Home."
Your home or mine?
Ours.
Who are you?
I don't know.
That makes two of us.
Home.
Gotho like kind of turns, motioning at the obelisk around him, and says, "Is this our home? Tower?"
No. You feel like a pulsing. Your heart, you can feel it just moving faster. Home.
Here, and he's using his right hand and kind of tapping his own chest and says, "Here."
With which arm?
No, his right arm.
Oh, his right arm.
His
Okay,
right hand.
yeah.
His natural hand. He's tapping his heart area, and he says, "Here."
Home. Us. Home.
Gotho came home to find you. Tell Gotho who you are.
I don't know.
Then we'll find out.
Together. Please.
You come with Gotho.
Yes. Please. Home.
Okay. We go. And then Gotho puts his left hand on the exterior of the obelisk.
Yeah. The second you do, it's as if like you put your hand on it, it just goes through it. As you walk out, You can slowly. It's like walking through mud for the first moment. You are on the southern side. You see the entrance that you had come in from, and as you look around, you are, quickly assured, whether worried or not, that it is indeed, this is the actual plane of existence that you were on before, not inside of the obelisk.
Yeah. Gotho just kind of steps out. And so you said changes made now. He has a tattoo on his right hand now?
You can see the tattoo. It spirals like the hair of the shadow. It spirals in just these tendrils down until reaching your wrist. And then 4 or 2 lines extend to your index finger, to your pinky finger, and then an obelisk down to both of your middle finger and your ring finger. The actual shape of the obelisk. The left one, the same tendrils go down, but they stop immediately at the severed line of your hand.
Okay, so basically, whatever markings it was made are being interrupted by this foreign arm.
Yeah.
Okay. Can Gotho still feel the presence of this other persona, like in him or around him at all?
You sitting there for like a moment, your mind is again like entirely busy. The thoughts, you can feel the wind whipping around. There's something like in the back of your mind that almost like trying to recall a forgotten memory that you can pluck at, and you remember for a moment, and then it's gone. You feel it for a brief moment, and then it's gone. But like as you're sitting there, you flex, kind of looking at your hands. You see that like your muscles have grown slightly more taut. The veins kind of extruding. Extruding, is that a fucking word?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh fuck yeah. I thought it was. I don't know. The veins kind of protruding a small amount from your bicep sticking out. You feel stronger, and your mind is a little more like wishy-washy than before. It's almost like there's another set of thoughts in your head that every time you try and access it's just like, no, there's nothing there. Silly.
Okay. Well, rather than try to access it, Gotho's trying to like focus the same way that he was communicating before.
Yeah.
And just says, or he's trying to focus once more and form the words, "Are you still here?"
A brief silence as the dust goes across, sand flies across in front of you. Thank you. And then very, very quietly, yes.
Even in his own thoughts. Okay. And then now Gotho once again, Randall.
Okay. You don't hear anything, Randall? You're on the south side of the obelisk.
Oh, that's right. I stepped out. I stepped out on the other side.
So if you want to like walk over to where you saw them?
He just walks around the corner of the obelisk to where, because when I was inside, I could see where Randall was standing, right?
Yeah.
So having stepped out on the opposite side, he just like walks around the corner and just says Randall, like he's been standing there the whole time.
Yeah. You see him like finishing. What did you yell, Randall?
Yondala's name. I cried out Yondala's name.
For it's entirely a mystery to you. Just absolutely crazy. It smells.
Well, how long? Basically, how long after I had done that? How long was he inside? Because basically, he saw me about to start doing my little thing or whatever.
You finish?
Yeah.
And
giggity.
He's now behind you. In the
suddenly saying Randall. Okay,
yeah.
So it's just basically he was in there just instantaneously, kind of like. Time stood still while he was inside the obelisk.
So it would seem.
Okay, so it would seem. All right.
Something similar.
Because as soon as I'm finished saying my prayer, I call out Yondala and I stand up and I put my shield back on my arm. I lift up my battle axe and I begin explaining to Fora that there is a heartbeat, not a pulse, but a heartbeat. Neither nefarious nor good, but definitely some sort of greater, higher planes being inside that obelisk. And she had first seen me before I knelt down and got my war paint on, as it were. Before I did that, she had seen me sensing divinity.
Yeah.
And this point, I'm in the midst. I believe I'd probably be in the midst of explaining this to Fora about the same time that Gotho steps out and just says
a little bit through the ritual. The heartbeat had stopped. You could, your divine sense had passed. So you wouldn't have still felt it or felt it stop. Just the effect fades, and then Gotho behind you, Randall.
Does Fora see Gotho?
Yeah, you guys see him now, visibly changed, larger, horizontally, more taut.
What? Whoa.
Does Gotho you said he feels a little bit stronger?
You feel stronger.
Is it so it's noticeably?
Yeah.
Okay.
Randall immediately places himself between Fora and Gotho, shield raised with his battle axe up. And just says,
Randall, it's Gotho.
"Are you sure about that, my dear? Doesn't look quite the same."
No, I'm pretty... Gotho?
Where have you been, Fred? Is he still a good 20 feet off or so, walking towards us, or just standing there, or?
No, he walked around the corner, but he stood still and just said, "Randall."
He's standing 30 feet away.
He's standing right at the corner of the obelisk.
And even from that distance, we can see that he's noticeably changed, and he is visibly a different person.
And you can see the tattoos across. Yeah. You can see.
Sounds like Gotho has the same hand that Gotho had, but now he is, because he doesn't wear a shirt. We can see the tattoos.
Yeah. But you can only see the bottom of the moon and one of the rays of the sun.
Yeah. But you've changed, my friend.
Gotho, what? What happened to you?
When Gotho learns, he will tell you.
That's not going to quite do it, my friend. I understand that we're all on the same side, but you must understand when you appear twice as big as usual and covered in tattoos that would take weeks. I believe there's an explanation in order.
Gotho found a very quick tattoo artist.
Gotho, like Austin Marie, went to Canada to get a tattoo. Came back down, was like, "Yo, what's up, guys?"
Unless there's a very fast tattoo artist hiding behind that obelisk, I think you have some explaining to do, my friend.
Not behind it, inside it.
Fora looks at Gotho and just asks,
Is it evil?
Wish I knew.
Now, I understand that you two have this little thing going on where you talk to each other in other languages. And this whole time, Randall is kind of motioning with his battle axe, not in a threatening manner, but more like, if we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight, and I'm ready.
Gotho's walking towards him at this point now.
Yeah.
He's tired of yelling 30 feet, so he's
absolutely. We're going to need a bit more than that, my friend. And as Gotho walks up, it's not in a threatening way, but it's the type of thing where, hey, that's not gonna be enough words. Randall just slowly places the head of his axe on Gotho's chest sideways. It's a double bit axe. And just places it, reaches up and actually places it to stop him. Basically more of a symbol saying like, hey, I'm not satisfied. You know what I mean?
When he does that, Gotho takes a single index finger and he puts it on the axe and is kind of pushing it off of him and says, "Gotho does not know."
Any more explanation? Because I sense something within that obelisk, within that pillar. A beating heart.
The obelisk spoke. It told me to come home. Gotho came home. And it changed him. And he holds up the hand with the tattoos on it. That is all Gotho knows.
Insight check. I'd like to do an insight check.
If you want to make a deception check, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say this is this is the first time Gotho's intentionally left out a detail to be deceptive. So his first ever deception check. I'd say Gotho's
Randall's a trusting fool.
It's either that or it's just the fact that Gotho's incredibly flat manner of speaking makes it hard to tell if he's telling the truth or not.
And he's never really told a lie before. And he's never openly tried to deceive.
That you know.
Absolutely.
That you know.
Exactly.
Dun, 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 wow. So Gotho, he tells him, it called me home. Gotho answered, it changed me. That is all Gotho knows.
Randall still kind of apprehensive, looks up at Fora to see like, hey, is that you good with that? Because
I mean, Gotho really doesn't lie. He wouldn't have any reason to, so...
well, you understand my apprehension, friend. And at that point, Randall puts his axe back in its holster on the side.
Gotho's focusing in the back of his mind, not speaking out loud anymore, and says, he's like trying to concentrate his thoughts to this other being that's inside his head now, and says, or he says, Gotho should tell, or he's just focusing on the thought, Gotho should tell the others, just to see how this creature reacts.
Dead silence.
So Randall slides his axe back down in as Gotho's doing this internal monologue or internal dialogue.
And Gotho's not being super secretive about it either. Like when he stops and does this, he just like his eyes like kind of stare off directly in front of him. Because before he was making eye contact with Randall, and now he stops and he's just kind of like has this dead stare. It might look like he's staring at something in front of him though, so Randall might like be like, "Oh, what's going on behind me?" But like,
at that point, Randall has like accepted the fact that he's telling the truth. So
okay.
He's not
he kind of visibly stops while he focuses on this thought for a second, and then getting no response from the other being, he says, "Also, Gotho is not alone," and he like taps his head.
Okay, what's that mean?
Other
Give me a
voice.
moment. As you two converse, Randall is going to sense divinity again.
Okay.
Oh, he's doing his thing.
Divine sense.
Okay.
Divine sense.
In that. You don't need to do that again, do you?
Perhaps not, my dear.
What's your charisma modifier?
Charisma modifier is +3.
Okay. Yeah.
I can do it 4 times before long.
There's for like a moment.
First off, is there a heartbeat coming from within the obelisk anymore?
There's nothing from the obelisk.
Okay.
And you can Gotho's heartbeat is now.
Wait, like it's two heartbeats?
No, just one. But you can sense
Just a
it
single
now.
heartbeat?
You've
But
never.
I'd never been able to sense his heartbeat before. Okay.
Gotho,
Is it inherently good or evil, or is it benign?
You can sense that it is good.
Okay.
did it
Okay.
sound like a small man, like a crazy man?
You said the voice was female, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, "No, woman."
Was a woman. Did she say what her name was by any chance?
She does not know.
Doesn't know.
What did she give you, my friend? Randall says, lowering his arms and kind of looking up at him coyly.
Markings.
Are you sure that is all? Randall walks up and he puts his finger right on his chest and taps his heart, like on his chest, and starts tapping in rhythm with a heartbeat. You never used to have one of those. He's tapping along with the heartbeat inside his chest. I have one. Miss Fora has one. But before now, you never did. And
So
my friend, I'm happy to tell you, your heart is a good heart. And I kind of just smack him on the chest. Well, of course, this is all, he's reaching way over his head to do this, Randall is.
So Gotho had a heartbeat before. I was presuming that he's able to sense it now, but he couldn't sense it before, right?
Yes.
I couldn't
yes.
I couldn't sense it. I thought
divine sense senses anything good or evil.
Okay.
So, or any fiends or any celestials of any kind. So
I thought it was that I couldn't sense it because he was a construct or something.
No,
my bad.
He has a heart.
Okay. He
had a functional heart before.
Okay. My bad. Okay, just okay. We don't say that because that doesn't make sense and doesn't follow the rules. No, instead.
Randall might think that anyway.
He still points at his heart, and because I would have been able to sense my own heartbeat or Fora's heartbeat, and
Fora dumbly like turns her head to the side.
Just to be quite clear, you have never sensed his heartbeat before with divine sense. Now you can sense his heartbeat. It's divine sense.
I can't sense my heartbeat or her heartbeat. I can sense a divinely good heartbeat coming from within him.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, basically I explained that. No, I say.
I tell you all the things the DM just told me.
Okay, I tell you everything the DM just told me. No, I say there's a pulsing within you, much like the pulsing that was in the temple where we found the Tome of Knowledge. Only this isn't the same ebb and flow of power. This is distinctly a heartbeat. I can feel it. I put my hand on his heart for a minute until I feel it.
Fora wants
And
to
my
go.
friend, it is a good heart. Fora, here. And like and we take great joy in feeling Gotho's pecs.
So with both of their
Is his skin warm?
normally no.
Okay.
Normally
now?
normally
Is it
You're
warm right
in
now,
the
Chad?
sun right now. You guys have
Yeah.
been cooking, so
Yeah.
you're all
they
warm.
they could feel like you could feel the heat from the sun on his skin, but like no inherent body heat usually comes from Gotho.
Gotcha.
Kind of like a zombie almost. With their two hands on his chest, though, Gotho like takes his one hand, not the green one. he's sensitive about that one. He has it out of the way, but he takes his one right hand and he puts it over both of theirs at the same time, and just says, "Gotho is changing."
Oh.
A little boy's growing up. And Randall goes and pats him with his bloody semen-covered hand. One more final time.
What do you mean changing? Changing how? I mean, obviously, other than physically.
Gotho holds up his hand again and says, or he holds up both hands actually now. He's kind of like showing her the green one, and he's holding it at an angle now where it's like close enough to the obelisk that she can, like, if she hasn't already put two and two together, she's very clearly seeing like green hand, green tower, like right next to each other. Mm-hmm. And he holds his other hand up next to it, and he says, "Gotho was built, not born. But Gotho has a heart now. Gotho has changed."
Did Fora know that already? That he was built?
He's
mentioned
made
it.
At this point, we've deduced, like, I would assume.
He's never directly stated that before, but he's made enough comments to you. Like, you've heard him refer to himself as like Emir when they said Emir was a construct.
Right.
You also called yourself a machine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or you called yourself a construct, rather.
I think you said you didn't have a mother at one point. Right?
He's also stated that he has no parents,
Yeah.
which is kind of hard to do when you're born. But like this time, he's like not speaking in riddles. He just directly says, "Gotho was built, not born."
And you say, "And I have a heart now," right?
Yeah.
And then he also said that he went home. So where is home for you, Gotho? Where did you go?
Gotho just looks at the tower.
Just the tower.
Gotho was built in one tower, and then called to this one.
Is this the tower from your dream, then?
This is the tower from the dream. The tower where Gotho was built is that way, and he points northeast.
Randall immediately whips around to look where he's pointing, as though I would be able to somehow see the tower from where we were.
No.
I don't think it would be visible because there's too many mountains in the way, and it's like another...
Randall's almost caught up in the awe of the moment, having literally done, seen this divine heartbeat, basically, within the obelisk, and then now seeing it in... He's like caught up in this whole... the rapture of the moment almost. So where it's like when you're just like, I was built that way. Randall's just like, where? You know what I mean? Turns around to look. He's so just overcome by all this.
When Randall turns to look, Gotho says, "One day, walk that way." Gotho was built there, but Gotho was called here. And he points at the green tower again.
Do you still not want to return to Minath with us?
Gotho can return now.
You can return now. That's great news, Gotho!
Wonderful.
That's
Gotho
wonderful.
had to come home. He's done now.
Fora just looks at the tower like,
Okay.
Perhaps you would be so kind as to carry the lady's books then, Sir Gotho.
Oh, yes. I have the knowledge tome if you want it back.
The tome is not for Gotho.
yeah, she's not really struggling with it, but she knows.
I know if you want to carry the tome, you can carry the tome, Gotho, or I can carry it. It doesn't matter to me.
Gotho believes Fora can protect a book.
You're right, my friend.
All right. I'm just saying, you were the guardian of knowledge. Want to go passing it off? That's fine. At this point, Randall has a smirk on his face, a grin as he kind of tosses his axe around and twirls it a little bit.
When he makes the guardian of the book comment, Gotho just he points up at his own head and says, Gotho is now guarding something else.
Your lady friend.
The one with the heartbeat. Points the axe at him again.
Gotho is playing Shadow Warrior 2.
Waiting for one of these days where, like, you extend the axe to point at him and into his shoulder or some shit.
He just like stone skin it away and like smack me.
Are we done here? Because it's kind of, well, it's not that hot, really.
Oh.
I kind of enjoy this.
It's probably just you, my dear. Boom!
One other thing.
Yes?
Big dragon near here somewhere. Be careful.
At this, Randall basically crouches into like a full-on combat stance mode, like, shield raised up to the eyes, axe behind him, like, wagons in a circle type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to go into a defensive position. Look.
When there's a dragon about, I do believe we shall.
But look over there, Randall.
He follows her gaze.
Look, see? Look, now the dragon has you because it's behind you.
What?
Exactly. You never want to go on the defense with dragon. You have to hide.
Where did you point him to look exactly?
Just in the general direction. Like, I think no.
Like northeast or like
Yes,
northwest? Northwest? And okay, roll me a perception check really quick. Okay.
Remember that's a 6. Remember that's a 6. Because we have disadvantages on
Oh yeah, fucking exhaustion.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Am I rolling? Perception?
I'm rolling perception because you were like, look over there.
If you're looking that way, you can roll a perception.
Yeah, Gotho looked too. I accidentally rolled a performance.
as she like points over there, I guess your head would turn as well, Gotho. They're both just kind of like dumbly staring as they're talking, and he's like looking around like, what? Could have been over there too? You see
Exactly.
where you had seen with the boulders previously. A blue-scaled creature is hopped up on the boulder and staring your way. And then you like watch it as it like a dog, like it playfully like to the other boulder and to the other boulder and then back onto the original.
And who sees this?
Just Gotho.
Neither of us.
Um,
See shit.
and that's where we're gonna end the session tonight.
Nothing